Hello and welcome once again to this channel. The US is not taking a break as international bodies keep reacting to their action in Venezuela, the military invasion in Venezuela that led to the abduction of President Nicolas Maduro Moros and his wife. The US has continued threatening other nations, especially in Latin America, and also another two countries, Greenland and Iran. The US is not taking a break at all. So what is your country doing? What lessons should developing nations learn when independence is treated as a threat and not a right? When a powerful nation defies international laws and invades another sovereign country, is it wrong for any developing country or for an African country to indicate its stance? All this and more is what we discuss in this channel. We bring it to you as it is and we say it as it is. Kindly do us a favor, subscribe and click on the bell notification so that when we post a new video, you will be among the first people to get it. Thank you very much, and then let's continue. So as I told you, the United States President Donald Trump, is not taking a break. He has continued his spree. President Maduro has attended his first court and he pleaded not guilty, both he and the wife, and they have been remanded and they will be in court again in March. Yeah, so as President Trump invaded Venezuela and international bodies such as Russia, China, Iran, and many other countries, almost all other countries expressed their concern, some supporting his action and some against his action. This is what the South African president, what Cyril Ramaphosa had to say about the United States' actions in Venezuela.
It is our commitment to international law and the United Nations Charter that informs our deep concern and action of the United States in Venezuela, which has undermined the territorial integrity and sovereignty of a UN member state called Venezuela. We reject utterly the actions that the United States has embarked upon and stand with the people of Venezuela. And we demand the release of President Maduro and his wife as well. We reiterate our call for decisive action by the United Nations Security Council to fulfill its mandate and advance peace and security and uphold the rule of law. The National Executive Committee of the African National Congress yesterday issued a clear statement and a call rejecting what has been done in Venezuela and calling upon the immediate release of President Maduro. It is the principles of equality and justice.
Yeah, so that is what he took the lead. This is what President Ramaphosa said about the Venezuela issue. Then the foreign minister of Ghana, Okudzeto Ablakwa, also released a statement and almost the same thing. He condemned, the government of Ghana condemned the action of the United States and also asked for the release of President Maduro and his wife. And if you went on Ghanaian social media, it was a banter. A lot of people were saying that Ghana is a small country. How does it concern us? It is happening in Latin America. How does it concern African countries and all this? People were throwing jabs and all that. Other people also said that, other people also said that there is nothing wrong with that. They are only indicating their position, right? Moreover, the action of the United States violates the UN Charter that governs all member states. And the United States is a member state. Ghana is, South Africa is, and many other African countries. So there's nothing wrong if they indicate their stance. And the action of the United States violated every article in the UN Charter. The Article 1 indicates how countries should collaborate with each other in terms of security and what you call trade and other things, and that every country has the right to self-determination, and every country has the right to protect its territorial integrity. And any country and any other country has no right to invade the territorial integrity of another country. And if there is a threat to your country that you need to invade, then it must be of security concern. It means that the action of Venezuela should have been of a security threat to the United States before they can invade. So tell me, which of them, which of the what do you call it, the actions or the reasons President Trump has been given relates to security threat? There is nothing. Narco terrorism and oil, and it is largely, we have now come to know that the reason for the invasion was to take over the oil industry of Venezuela. That is all, and to cause a regime change. That is all. There's nothing about cartel, because in the first Trump one, the indictment that was made by that the U.S. Court made on President Maduro, the reasons they gave, even this one, the charges they are charging him now, doesn't include those ones. Cartel of the Suns and all those things. It's not there. It is not part of these charges that they have against him now. So there is nothing wrong with a country like Ghana indicating its stance. We know Ghana has always maintained its non-alliance states. President Kwame Nkrumah said, we are not looking at the left or right, we are looking forward. Despite all these backlashes that is coming from international bodies, President Trump is threatening Colombia. The president of Colombia, he's threatening him and alleging that he is a drug dealer.
Now, we have a very sick neighbor. It's not a neighbor, but it's close to a neighbor. And that's Venezuela. It's very sick. Colombia is very sick, too, run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States. And he's not going to be doing it very long, let me tell you.
What does that mean? He's not going to be doing it very long?
He's not doing it very long. He has cocaine mills and cocaine factories. He's not going to be doing it very long.
So there will be an operation by the U.S. and...
It sounds good to me. Yeah. You know why? Because they kill a lot of people, yeah.
So Trump has a problem with the Colombian president. He accuses him of running cocaine mills and factories, and he doesn't rule out a U.S. operation in Colombia. How has Colombia reacted to this? With outrage, of course. President Gustavo Petro has asked Donald Trump to stop slandering him. He says he's willing to take up arms if push comes to shove.
He is not ruling out military intervention in Colombia as well. Now, the next country on the list is Cuba. President Trump has also issued a warning to Cuba. Cuba is a country that is already suffering from so many sanctions since the time of Fidel Castro. So President Trump is now threatening to bring down Cuba as well. And let's watch what he said about Cuba.
Are you considering U.S. action in Cuba?
I think it's just going to fall. I don't think we need any action. It looks like it's going down. It's going down for the count. You ever watch a fight?
Yeah. Even though he says that they will not intervene or they will not attack Cuba like they will do in Colombia or they have done in Venezuela. But then Cuba will fall on its own because the sanctions on Cuba are so much. And I mean, trust me, this man, don't take his words, right? He will say one thing today and the next minute he's saying a different thing altogether. So just don't take him for his words. Now, the next country he threatened was Mexico. He said drug cartels in Mexico, they are the ones ruling Mexico and not the president of Mexico. And that people ship drugs through Mexico and push them into the United States. And that he wants to send troops into Mexico to stop the cartels. This is what he said.
And by the way, you have to do something with Mexico. Mexico has to get their act together because they're pouring through Mexico, and we're going to have to do something. We'd love Mexico to do it. They're capable of doing it, but unfortunately the cartels are very strong in Mexico.
I remember one time you actually, speaking of Mexico, I asked you about Claudia Sheinbaum, and you told me at one point you had offered to send U.S. troops into Mexico to combat drug trafficking there. Is that something you have spoken to her about?
I think she's a terrific person. I would say every single time I talk to her, I offer to send troops.
And she's just not willing?
She's concerned. She's a little afraid. The cartels are running Mexico. Whether you like it or not, it's not nice to say, but the cartels are running Mexico.
So Mexico has a drug cartel problem. These drugs are flowing into the US. Trump wants to stop that. And for that, he wants to send troops. Threat like Colombia, but whatever has been said is enough to keep the Mexicans worried.
Now, all these countries, the three countries he has indicated, like he has talked about so far, are countries that are in Latin America, right? Those are his backyard countries, all right? But then he has been targeting one other country, and that is Greenland. Greenland is the largest island. It has so much oil, so much resources, and Trump wants to take it because he says it has to do with national security, because Greenland has surrounded itself with Chinese and Russian ships and all that. Meanwhile, US has got a military base in Greenland, but Trump is not satisfied. But one thing is that Greenland is part of Denmark, and that Denmark is part of NATO, and US is part of NATO, and the NATO treaty indicates that they must protect each other. They must fight together if one of them is attacked. But here is a case: one NATO country wants to attack another NATO country. So what will happen? Will NATO collapse? What will happen at last? Your guess is as good as mine. Now let's watch what President Trump said about Greenland.
But Trump wants the entire island, and he's been fixated on it for a while now. He keeps talking about Greenland. Then last year, in 2025, Trump's son visited Greenland. And yesterday, Katie Miller posted this. It's a map of Greenland with the US flag over it. And who is Katie Miller? She is the wife of Stephen Miller, who is a top aide to the US president. So you could say this is very much the administration's line. And if there was any doubt, Donald Trump himself made it clear. Listen to this.
We'll worry about Greenland in about 2 months. Let's talk about Greenland in 20 days.
On Venezuela, we talked so much about energy.
By the way, I will say this about Greenland. We need Greenland from a national security situation. It's so strategic. Right now, Greenland is covered with Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security. And Denmark is not going to be able to do it, I can tell you.
I think it's a big
You know what Denmark did recently to boost up security in Greenland? They added one more dog sled. It's true. They thought that was a great move.
Yeah. So as you can see, this is what is happening. Now let me ask you, an African, what if the US decides to invade your country today? What will you do? How can a sovereign country be there and another country, simply because of the tag of world superpower, a sovereign country is attacked? For example, the US comes and says, Ghana, we need the country Ghana, all right, for security purposes. So we need to take over Ghana. We need to remove the president and take over the country. How does this work? And that is what President Trump is doing. And he's not relenting on it. He's not giving up on it. He has been saying it since his first time when he was president. And when he came back again the second term, he has been saying it the whole of last year. He has been mentioning it, that they need Greenland for security purposes. They need Greenland for security purposes. And that is what he has been singing. This is a president who has come to office, and all he does is impose tariffs, trade wars with other countries, and invading other countries, invading sovereign countries. President Trump has made like 640 military interventions in different countries. And the entire Biden's 4 years was 500 military interventions. So this man is not leaving anything. Like he doesn't care. He just sleeps and thinks of it, and the next day he is given an order. He doesn't even follow the constitution. He just gives an order. So African countries who are watching this, don't just sit down. That is why President PLO Lumumba said it is high time that Africa start developing its nuclear weapons. The nations who already have nuclear weapons keep building on it, but no new country is allowed to build nuclear weapons again. That is the crazy thing. And that is why the US is on Iran not to build on it. So whoever the US doesn't like, they impose their sanctions on you. And it is just crazy. They impose sanctions on you, cause your people to riot, and then they will come in that they are intervening. Now they are threatening to intervene Iran, because as of now about 12 people have died through a government protest that has been ongoing for almost a week now. Last year they bombed Iran, they bombed Yemen, they bombed Lebanon, they bombed Gaza. So let's pray that Trump's mind doesn't switch to Africa. Otherwise, it is going to be a disaster. Trust me. There is nothing you can do. There's nothing nobody can do about it. If Trump decides to take Africa, that is it. Because your defense power put together doesn't even go close to what they do. Doesn't even go to 1% of what they spend or what they have. So your guess is as good as mine. Thank you very much for watching this video, and if you haven't subscribed yet, kindly consider subscribing and clicking on the bell notification, and also click on the like button so that the video can get more recommendations. Thank you very much, and see